Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are all getting settled in our soft and comfortable $1,000 reclining chairs. Have we got a show for
Boy, do you sound cliche. Have we got a show for you?
That's Mia. She works here too, unfortunately.
You gotta be more intriguing than that.
More intriguing? I'll have you know that I'm well aware of...
Yeah, well aware, who cares? These kind people need to be warmed up before the show. You know, tell a joke or two.
A joke?
Yeah, a joke, idiot. Here, like this. What did the traffic light say to the cars?
What?
Don't look at me, I'm changing.
Okay. How about this one? A man is driving down the road with 20 penguins in the back seat. The police stop him and say that he can't drive around with the penguins in the car and that he should take them to the zoo. The man agrees and drives off. The next day, the same man is driving down the road with 20 penguins in the back again. He is stopped by the same police officer who says, "Hey, I thought I told you to take those penguins to the zoo." The man replies, "I did. Today I'm taking them to the movies."
So what's the plan for today?
Today, we are doing a show in 2 acts, broadcasting live, and the people sitting in those soft, comfortable, reclining chairs will be transported to a world of sound.
A world of sound? How does that work?
Great, you asked. Over there is where we have our special effects table, led by Ben and Denzel, and with them we could go anywhere in the world. Could you give us some footsteps? A door slam? Are we knocking on heaven's door?
Wow, so we can go anywhere? Take us to the jungle. It's like old-time radio, but new time.
Exactly. When the play unfolds, it will be for this wonderful audience to hear.
But they can watch too, right?
Right. Actors will be working at microphones. They'll see sounds being made at the sound effects table, and they can hear some music. Let's hear some smooth jazz. And if you don't want to watch, sit back, relax, bring your radios out, tune in to station 90.9, use your earphones only, close your eyes, but don't fall asleep. We wouldn't want you to miss out on anything, and I'm pretty sure people around you wouldn't want to hear you snoring during the show. Our sponsors want everyone to have a good time, so from time to time, you'll need to applaud.
So when I hold up a sign, you clap, got it?
That's upside down.
Oops. Okay, let's try it.
Okay, good. Now, just like the applause sign, we have laugh and awe signs. So when we hold up the laugh sign, you laugh. And when we hold up the awe sign, you awe.
Okay, let's give it one more try. Yay, great. On with the show.
What do you think?
It won't work.
What'd you say?
I said it won't work.
What do you mean it won't work? This is great stuff.
Oh, come on, Pete. That's the same jungle effect everyone uses. I've heard it on anything from Inner Sanctum to Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Larson wants realism.
Yeah. And just how does he expect me to give him realism with this lot?
That's not my problem, Pete. Look, it says here in the script that today's episode of Moon over Madagascar takes places in the jungles of New Guinea. You're the sound man. Improvise.
Improvise, she says. Hey, has the great Larson Swells seen today's script?
No, he's been across town rehearsing his new play.
Well, when God's gift to the American theater gets here, you can tell him for me this stuff ain't exactly George Bernard Shaw.
Well, Pete, if you want to take it up with Larson, that's up to you. But right now, I'd appreciate it if you and that assistant of yours would get to work on a new jungle background. And fast. We go on the air in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Leroy, where is that lad? Leroy.
You called Mr.
Nice going, kid. At least this time you missed the lamp. Great. Some assisting you are.
Gee, I'm sorry, Mr. Kowalski. I guess I wasn't looking where I was going. Hello, Miss Lovecraft.
Leroy, look, you two better get this mess cleaned up pronto. Larson's due any minute.
Yeah. Come on, kid. Grab a broom.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, hi, Claudia. Here's your script.
Thanks, Miss Lovecraft. You know, I'm waiting for a call from CBS today. You'll let me know if they call, won't you?
Sure, Claudia. Now,
You know, I'm up for the announcer's job on Ladies Be Seated.
Well, that's wonderful, Claudia. Now, if you'll look over today's script, you'll see we have a new sponsor.
New sponsor? Really? Let's see. Ah, here it is. Oh my. Oh my. Slackmeyer's nose drops?
That's it.
Slackmeyer's nose drops.
Problem.
Well, it's just that nose drops. That's not a very dignified sponsor. What if CBS listens in this afternoon? What if they hear me selling Slackmeyer's nose drops? I like the old sponsor. What was it? Oh, yes, Karcher's Little Liver Pills.
Yes, but don't you remember, Claudia, they canceled their contract when you slipped and called them Carter's lily-livered pills.
Just a slip of the tongue. It could happen to anyone.
Well, never mind. Just look over the rest of the script. Larson will be here soon.
Hello, Lovecraft, you doll, you. The thespians are here.
So I see. Hello, Janice. Hello, Mildred. And how are you, Edgar?
Huh?
I said, how are you today?
Yes, it is very warm for me.
Still haven't found your hearing aid, I see.
Icy? It's never icy this time of year. What makes you think it's icy?
Never mind.
Well, what will it be today? Are we stranded on the polar ice cap? Chased by cannibals in Borneo? Or maybe scaling the Himalayas on the track of the abominable snowman?
Nothing as exciting as that. No, today you and Colonel Foxtrot are searching for the zombie queen in the jungles of New Guinea.
Oh, very original. Didn't I hear that one last week on Adventure Theater?
Probably here are your scripts.
Miss Lovecraft, I was wondering if I could speak to you for a moment.
Of course, Mildred, what is it?
Well, I thought that you might talk to Mr. Swells about me. I mean, the roles he keeps giving me.
Why, Mildred, what's wrong?
It's just that, how long can I go on playing the zombie queen, or the vampire priestess, or Dracula's castle, or the voodoo temptress of Haiti? I mean, it's getting embarrassing.
Embarrassing?
How would you like to have a Broadway tryout and tell the producer that your last job was playing the slime woman in the swamps in The Moon Over Madagascar? I mean, why does Lawson keep giving me these roles?
Because he knows that no one but you could pull them off, Mildred.
Really?
Well, of course. You think just anyone could play the slime woman of the swamps and play it with conviction?
No.
Take it from me, Mildred. If Larson were here right now, he'd say...
Found it, Lovecraft. That miserable excuse for a doorman downstairs still doesn't seem to know who I am. Imagine, Larson Swells can't even get into this godforsaken sausage factory because the doorman downstairs doesn't remember his face. Lovecraft, how could anyone forget my face? Look at it.
I'm looking at it, and I think you ought to have it land.
What's that?
Never mind, Larson. Here's today's script.
Yes, I'll look at it later. Hello, people.
Hello, Mr. Swells.
I see you're all champing at the bit. So, shall we get started?
Larson, it's 2 minutes to air. I don't think we have time for a run-through.
All right, then. We'll wing it. Places, everyone. Mr. Kowalski, are you ready?
Yeah, sure. Me and the kid are trembling with anticipation.
Well, then, let's hear that jungle effect.
Larson, I don't think you should...
No. That sounds like the bird sanctuary at the Bronx Zoo. You haven't got it. Those are the worst sound effects I've ever heard. You had all night to work on it, man. What are we paying you
listen,
for?
Swellhead, you ain't paying me enough to put up with this. You don't like this stuff? Hire yourself another soundman.
Pete,
Where
wait.
do you think you're going?
Going back home to roll one up.
Why, you ungrateful... You get back here this instant. We've got a show to do.
It's 30 seconds to air, Larson. What'll we do?
Why, where's that young assistant of Pete's?
You mean Leroy?
Yes, Leroy. Where is the lad? Leroy?
Yes, Mr. Swell?
Leroy, come here, lad.
I'm coming.
Oh, God.
Sorry, Mr. Swells. You wanted me?
Yes, Leroy. Mr. Kowalski has departed. For good, I hope. So it falls to you to handle the sound effects for today's broadcast. Think you can handle it?
Jumping in Jiminy Gee Whiz, sure.
That a boy. Now get into that sound booth and get set.
Yes, sir, Mr. Swells.
Watch out, Leroy. It's almost airtime, Larson. 10
All right.
seconds.
Places, everybody. It's magic time. Leroy, are you all set?
Yes, sir, Mr. Swells. I'm ready.
All right, then. Quiet, please. Stand by for the cue.
3, 2, 1.
And now, Slackmire's Nose Drops brings you another thrilling adventure on Moon over Madagascar. Larson Swells presents Moon over Madagascar, the exciting adventures of two-fisted Private Eye, Miss Friday, and her companion, Colonel Foxtrot, as they travel the globe in search of danger and intrigue. Today's story, The Zombie's Kiss. You'll remember in our last adventure, Miss Friday and Colonel Foxtrot had discovered the lost city of Kamgetcha, deep in the jungles of New Guinea. But before they can celebrate their amazing discovery, Friday and the Colonel find 3 of their native porters dead, murdered by the zombie hordes guarding the sacred temple of Bop Shibat. Now, Friday and the Colonel have gone to the temple to confront the evil zombie queen. Listen.
We should reach the temple soon, Colonel. I can see a light up ahead.
It's a good thing I brought along my service revolver. These zombies are tricky, blighters.
I dare say the zombie queen won't take kindly to our coming here. She's probably... Colonel, look, up ahead. It's her.
The zombie queen.
Strangers, go away. Go away before zombie gets you. You are not welcome here.
You do not frighten us.
No? Then perhaps this will convince you.
Good God! It's a man-eating tiger.
It won't do any good, zombie queen. You forgot. Colonel Foxtrot and I are both armed. Take this. I said take that. Well, no matter. I don't need a gun to handle a mere tiger. I'll use my hunting knife. Take this.
Friday, look! The zombie queen's vanished.
Not vanished, Colonel. She slipped through a secret panel into the temple. Come on, let's follow. Look, there she is, standing above the altar.
Strangers, this is your last warning. Leave this place and live. Stay and die.
It's no good, Your Highness. Your murdering career is over.
Very well. You've had your chance to escape. You have defiled the sacred temple of Bop-Shibop, and now you must pay. I call upon the Thunder God to strike you down. I call upon the Thunder God to strike you down.
Watch out, Colonel. A lightning bolt. This is ridiculous.
Quick, Friday. She's escaping. She's swinging across the temple on that hanging vine. Friday, what do we do?
Hire a new sound man.
Friday, look. There are some horses. Let's take 2 of them and follow the zombie queen.
Yeah.
Let's go. Mount up.
Right.
She's almost on the other side of the temple. Friday, we'll get her.
Whoa there! I said whoa there! Whoa!
Friday, what'll we do?
Crap, now what? Whoa! Will someone stop these blasted horses?
Will Miss Friday and Colonel Foxtrot catch the evil zombie queen? Will they avenge the murders of their native porters? Will they ever stop these horses? For the answers to those and other thrilling questions, tune in tomorrow for the next episode of Moon over Madagascar on most of these same stations. This is Claudia E. Day reminding you that for nasal distresses, there's nothing like Slackmire's nose drops. So if you're suffering from blocked nasal passages... Then try Slackmeyer's nose drops. In no time at all, you'll be breathing freely again. Remember, when you need to breathe, think Slackmeyer's. Moon over Madagascar is a Larson Swells production. This is the Blue Network.
And we're off.
Well, I think that was one of our better shows, don't you?
Janice?
CBS doesn't listen.
Over. My God. We're all finished. The show, the sponsor, everything.
Gee, I'm sorry, Mr. Swells. I guess I fouled up a couple of
Leroy.
things.
Leroy. Go home, Leroy. Go home and make out your last will, because I'm going to kill you.
Larson, he didn't mean
Do you know
to
what
do
you've
it.
done, you twerp?
Gee whiz, Mr. Swells. I said I was sorry.
Get out. Get out, you bumbling toad. Get out of this studio before I really get mad. First time he's been able to leave the room without tripping over something.
Well, now what? Hello, Studio A? Oh, yes, he's here. Mr. Slackmeyer, just a moment. Larson, it's for you. The sponsor.
Oh, God. Let me have that. Hello, Mr. Slackmeyer. Now, before you... What? What? You did? Are you sure you heard the right program? You are? Oh, well, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Not at all. Of course. Goodbye.
Well,
He loved it. Slackmeyer said he loved it. He said it was the brightest, most original comedy show he's heard in years. He wants to be the show's exclusive sponsor.
was he drunk?
Sober as a judge. Said he hasn't laughed so hard since Stoop, Nagel, and Bud were on the air.
Oh, boy.
You know what this means, don't you?
What?
It means, my friends, that we've got to get that kid back here at once. Leroy! Leroy, come back! Leroy, my lad, all is forgiven. Come back!
Well, what are you all waiting for? Glad that it all worked out for them in Studio A. Okay, everyone, we're going to take a 5-minute intermission. So take a break from those comfortable reclining chairs. Stretch your arms and your legs. Do some yoga. But hurry, because when we come back, we soon find out that not every world is as fun. Sometimes things exist without our knowledge, and we teeter on the edge of oblivion. Have you ever felt a bit strange about starting a new job? Wonder if you might not fit in? This story is about someone who learns that finding out the truth can be more unnerving than staying in the dark. It's called The Dentist. It was written by Vancouver writer Bill Gray. So sit down, relax. We've made an appointment for you. One you won't forget.
All right, there you are, Mr. Rogers. The dentist will be in a minute. He's finishing up in the other room.
Thank you. Whoa. Whoa. Will this take long?
Oh, maybe 20 minutes. And don't be so nervous. Dr. Stewart is very good. You won't feel a thing. He's the most popular dentist in town for a reason, you know.
Yeah, and the cheapest. Oh, that doesn't mean he's...
Well, now, Rogers, isn't it? George Rogers, let's see. Ah, yes, the fourth cusbit. Let me look. Ooh, that's quite the cavity you've got yourself there. Right along the edge of the tooth. Been a little lax with the flossing?
Well, I always seem to forget. I did try. My last
Well,
dentist said-
don't you worry about it. I'll be able to fix this up in no time. Have you had gas before?
Oh, yeah. It must seem silly, I guess. But I don't want you to do it without
Oh,
it.
fine, no problem. I prefer using it. All right, Mr. Rogers, just let me get this over your nose.
Aren't you going to freeze me first?
That won't be necessary.
Hey, wait a minute. What's happening?
This doesn't feel like the gas I've had before. What are you...
That's it,
What are
Mr.
you
Rogers. Sleep. Won't be awake for this anyway. Donald, is everything set up? This one's ready.
Could you pass me the toothpaste, hon?
Yeah. You know, when I finish school, we'll live in a house with 4 bathrooms, all big. You know, mark of a successful lawyer is how many bathrooms you
I
have.
think a mansion is still a few years away.
Oh, I'll climb the corporate ladder like a greased cat with a Malamute on its tail.
Fine, but right now I need to get finished here or I'll be late, and you'll run the risk of starvation before graduation.
It's only 6 o'clock in the morning. What time do you start
I
again?
told you 7:30, but I want to be early on the first week in case the joint. Being a dental assistant isn't only following orders, you know. They all have their quirks and office politics. Excuse me. This guy, Stewart, seems pretty good. A real no-nonsense operation from what I could tell, but friendly, too.
Well, I still don't see why he has to rise with the roosters.
To keep up his volume. I guess that's how he keeps his rates so low.
Good morning. Dr. Stewart's office. Yes, just a moment, please. Let's see now. Tuesday the 5th. Yes, he has an opening at 5. All right, that's Mr. Simonek. Fine. We'll put you down for 5 on Tuesday, then. Pardon? Yes, those are the correct rates. Dr. Stewart is a big believer in inexpensive dental care. Okay, fine. Bye-bye.
She's finally off the phone. This is Evelyn, our receptionist. And office Cal, Dr. Stewart's Girl Friday, you name it. Ev, this is Sandra, the new DA.
Pleased to meet you, Sandra.
Nice to meet you.
I'm sure you'll enjoy working here, Sandra. Dr. Stewart runs a close unit, like a family. I'm sure you'll fit in just fine. And if you need any help at all, just let me know, and I'll do whatever I can to help you out. Oh, excuse me. Duty calls. Dr. Stewart's office, good morning.
Evelyn's the greatest. This place couldn't run without her.
She seems very nice.
Oh, she is. Give you the shirt off her back. She's been with Dr. Stewart for years. Really keeps the place on track. Now, let's go to the doctor's office, and you can meet your new boss.
There, that takes care of the tooth. As far as this little lady will know, she's had a filling, and that's the end of it. The rest is virtually untraceable.
As usual, you're very talented, Alan.
Thank you, Donald. All right, I'll put this in the safe, and you get this equipment out of here. Can't have our new girl seeing any of this. Not yet, anyway.
Do you think she'll work out?
Promising. From the interview, she seemed clever enough. and ambitious. That's what we need.
I hope she's more understanding than the last one.
Yes, that was unfortunate.
Fine then, Mr. Rogers. We'll see you in a few days.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, when do I come back in again?
Evelyn, I wonder if you could tell me what the situation is. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, that's fine. Mr. Rogers was just leaving.
When do I come back?
I told you, Mr. Rogers, in a few days. I'll call you and remind you.
Oh, I see. Fine, yeah, fine.
What's with him?
Him? Nothing. Nothing. He just has an adverse reaction to the gas, but he won't have any work done unless we give it to him.
Will he be all right?
Oh, heavens, yes. He's just a little groggy is all. Nothing wrong with him. You wanted something?
Oh, yes. There's a McQueen, Denise McQueen in the yellow room with Dr. Stewart now. I can't seem to find her file.
What do you want with her file?
Well, I've been here for a week now, and I seem to have the routine pretty well worked out, so I thought I'd familiarize myself with some of the patient's files.
Don't think that you need to concern yourself with all the patients.
But well,
I think that you do well to keep yourself busy with those that you're assigned.
but where I worked before,
But you work here now, and we have our own way of doing things. You'll have your patients, and Donald will have his.
but why would a patient's file be
The
missing?
files are in the room with the patient.
No, they're not. You see, that's
Ms.
what made me...
Logan, it's none of your concern, but Dr. Stewart has taken on some special patients. People who can't even afford his low rates, but people who need work done. So he pretends that they've never been here, and he keeps no record of
But
them.
how would he know what work still needs to be done?
He has an excellent memory. I don't know, but I don't feel that it's my place to question his methods, nor yours.
I'm sorry. I was just curious. I didn't mean to pry.
Don't worry. There's always a simple explanation for things, and Alan simply doesn't like to broadcast his charitable acts. I'll tell you what. If you'll just forget all about this, I won't mention anything to the doctor.
Well, sure, but
I'm sure you'll fit in just fine here, Sandra, once you get the hang of how things work.
Yeah, right. So I guess I better get back to work. Who's next?
Doncaster, Alex B. He's out in the waiting room now.
Fine, I'll take him in.
Good. See you later.
Yeah.
Dr. Stewart,
Yes, Evelyn?
are you alone?
I'm alone. The patient is gone.
Alan, you're going to have to watch out for that new girl. She's already asking some tricky questions.
What do you mean?
Well, she's been snooping around the files, and Alan, you're going to have to do something about her, one way or another, and soon.
Yeah, more wine?
No thanks, Jeremy.
Well then, I guess I'll just have to take it on myself to drain the dregs of this noble bottle.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, what do you think about what I told you about the office?
There doesn't seem to be any problem that I can make out, unless you don't believe what you were told.
I'm not sure I do. There's something funny, Jeremy. I know there is. Who ever heard of a dentist not keeping files? They thrive on them.
You said he's a friendly sort.
I know, but what about that guy, Mr. Rogers? I've seen a lot of people after gas, and no one ever looks like that. He was really out of it.
How old was he?
About late 20s, I guess.
Yeah, well, maybe he was just stoned or something.
Well, then why did Evelyn try to cover it up? She should know people don't come out of gas that way.
I don't know, Sam. I'm going to be a lawyer, not a detective. Maybe your steward uses a different kind of gas, something you're not familiar with. Maybe the guy was sick. What are you getting at?
I think something's going on over there. I don't know what exactly, but something isn't right. The second day I was there, I overheard something that didn't make sense at the time, but now I wonder...
Sandra Slade, dental detective. Send us your enamel scrapings and we'll...
Jeremy, will you lay off? I'm serious.
Right, all right. So, what new evidence does your eavesdropping bring to light?
Jeremy, that was accidental. Anyway, Stuart had been with this patient quite a while that morning. After I saw the woman leave, I overheard Stuart and Donald talking with Evelyn. Stuart was saying that they could use that one only one more time, that she'd never last. And then Donald reminded them both not to let me see the woman when she came in next week.
What do you mean by using her?
I don't know. I thought it was something I hadn't heard properly. But now I'm not sure. You see, when I saw the woman leave, She looked really strange. A lot like Mr. Rogers did today.
Well, sometimes things can fall into place when you want them to.
No, something's going on.
Well, why don't you just confront them with all this? Match clues and see who comes up with the strangest story.
Jeremy, I don't have a plan. I get the feeling that a lot of files aren't where they should be. More welfare cases, I guess. So, remember that filling you were supposed to have redone and should have taken care of a year ago?
Oh, no, my little Quarette. Solve your own mysteries.
Jeremy, if you don't have it done soon, you'll lose the tooth.
Well, it'll cuten up my boyish features. Sand, I hate dentists. All I can handle is one dental assistant. Speaking of which, why don't we forget all this nonsense and retire to the boudoir? We have other mysteries we can
This
work
is
on.
not nonsense. I want to get to the bottom of this. And you're going to help me. Innocent people might be getting
I
hurt.
don't see what I can do anyway. I know nothing about dentistry.
It doesn't matter. All we had to do was get you in there and looking around. They don't know I'm married.
I embarrass you?
Oh, hardly. I just didn't think my marital status was any employer's business. They'd think I'm single and
Well,
unattached.
maybe the good dentist is putting the rush on you, and in your own sweet, naive
Oh,
way.
for God's sake. We could drum up a story and get you in as one of the charities.
Seriously, Sandra. Drills and clamps and things at the best of times?
I'll make sure I assist. That way you'll be safe.
What if we don't come up with anything?
Then you'll save the tooth and I'll have to come up with a new plan.
And if I don't agree?
Well, that'll be two mysteries we don't work on.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Mr. Jones. That filling must be replaced. I'll do it right away if you like. Save you coming back?
Sure.
Fine. Now, if you'll excuse me for a moment, I'll be right back. Sandra, you can get things ready.
Yes, Doctor. Well, Jeremy?
Well, what?
Seems creepy around here, doesn't
What do you mean? Because the doctor has a humpback and stitches around his neck? Come on, Sandra, he seems like a really nice guy.
It's an act.
Come on.
Just before I brought you in, I saw Donald and Stuart whispering to each other. And when they saw me, they
Oh,
stopped.
for God's sake. What are you expecting? A boogeyman with a drill? Just what are you expecting to happen
I
here?
don't know for
I'm
sure.
the one that should be worried. I'm terrified of dentists, and you know that. You wouldn't believe what goes through my mind when I look at those shiny things you're flinging around there.
Jeremy, I think he's conducting some kind of experiment with the patients.
Well, then let him go ahead. I feel more relaxed than I ever had on a visit to the dentist. Seems like a good experiment to me.
You don't understand. There have been a lot of people.
So, how are we doing? Everything ready, Sandra? You all set, Jeremy?
Everything's ready to go, Doctor.
Jeremy, would you like some gas to make it a little easier?
Well, I suppose, although I feel less tense than normal, I must say.
He doesn't need gas.
Well, a little won't hurt. Take the mind
I
off things.
talked to him. He doesn't
I
need it.
don't mind.
No,
Sandra, what's the matter?
I don't want you to
It's all right.
Please, don't.
Sandra, if you please. What was that?
I don't know.
My hands are full. Go and see what's happened, for God's sake.
Well, it startled me.
Go and see if everyone is all right.
All right. It sounded like glass or something. I'll be right back.
Now, Mr. Jones, you just take another good whiff of this.
Wait a minute. What's going on?
Good. Now, we might as well get the cavity out of the way before we get down to some real business.
Goodness. Oh, goodness.
Evelyn, what happened? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right. Have scared me to death, but I was working on the books here, and I guess I was lost in thought and what I was doing, and I don't know. Somehow I managed to knock this vase on the floor. Oh, Dr. Stewart will be just furious.
What happened? Oh, some broken glass. Oh, dear. Well, go ahead and help Ev, Sandra. I'm free. I can take over with Mr. Jones now.
No, don't. I'll do that.
Help. Give me a hand here. There's broken glass all over. We can't have people stepping on that now, can
Mr.
we?
Jones shouldn't have gas.
I'm so sorry that I frightened everyone like that. I feel silly. I completely go to pieces when I'm startled. I've always been like that. Here, you take these pieces out to the garbage chute, and I'll make sure that we don't have any more little chips.
Jeremy, are you all right?
Yes.
Well?
Yes?
Well, what happened, for God's sake?
Happened?
At the dentist.
Oh, yeah. Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing? Are you all right?
I told you I'm fine. Doctor fixed my tooth, and I go back next week for more work. He found some other cavities, and he's doing them for free.
Yeah, that's great. But what happened when Donald came in? They locked me out, and they slipped you out when I was busy. What happened?
Sandra, you're being paranoid. Dr. Stewart fixed my tooth, and that's all. He's an excellent
Oh,
dentist.
God, Jeremy, you can be so infuriating. I know there's something not right here.
I think you're wrong. Look, forget about your mystery, Sam.
Well, I'm still not sure about... Oh, gotta go. Evelyn's just come back from lunch and I'm using the office phone. See you tonight. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, hello, Sandra.
Have a nice lunch?
Oh, excellent. Of course. Dr. Stewart always picks a nice spot when he takes me for lunch. The guardrail down on West 4th. Do you know it?
Nope. Well, I don't think so.
It's very good. Little expensive, but I had a lovely shrimp and artichoke salad.
Sounds nice.
Well, I guess I better get back to it. Oh, Sandra. The doctor would like to see you for a moment in his office.
Yes, come in.
Evelyn said you wanted to see me?
Yes, come in, come in. Have you spoken with your acquaintance, Mr. Jones?
No, I barely know him, really. He's someone I just ran into.
Well, he'll be back. Needed a little more work done.
Oh, good.
You seem to be taking quite an interest in our little operation, Sandra. Evelyn and Donald tell me you're quite the busy one. No detail too small and all that.
As I said in my interview, I don't like to waste time.
Well, you certainly haven't been. You probably know more about what goes on around here than I do.
I was only trying to be helpful, Doctor. I didn't mean to upset anyone.
Upset? Oh, you haven't upset anyone. Much the opposite. But I must make a confession, Sandra. We've been watching you. Closely, I might say.
I was afraid of that.
Well, what did you expect? We had to be sure, and I have to say, I think my first impressions were correct.
Your what?
I think you'll fit into this organization extremely well. And as a vote of confidence from us all, I'd like to increase your salary by 30%, if you have no objections.
30%? Well, no, of course. That's fine. But I thought...
Now, it won't all be gravy. You'll have to work for it. I'd like you to take on more of the business around here. Learn all the nook and crannies. Evelyn is going to need a little bit of help when Donald takes his holiday soon. And I'd like you to take on his patients for a while as well. Think you can handle it?
Yes, of course.
I've asked Evelyn to leave me some time Monday morning. She, you, and I can go through all the files, fill in any gaps you may have in the daily operation, all right?
Yes, fine. Dr. Stewart.
Ah, yes?
Dr. Stewart, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm sorry if I seemed a little too
Oh,
curious.
not at all. You've shown an encouraging ambition. I like that. You'll be a valuable member of the team.
Thank you.
Oh, and Sandra, everyone here gets free dental care, of course. I've asked Evelyn to schedule you in for a check-in before our meeting on Monday. We must present a good impression to our patients, mustn't we?
Yes, of course.
Monday, then.
Right, Monday.
Everything's fine, except for that one filling. Get that redone and you'll have a perfect mouthful of beautiful chompers.
I had that one done at the last place I worked.
Not his fault, just one of those things. A cavity started up under it.
Good morning, everyone.
Donald, you're early. Say, would you mind assisting? Sandra needs a replacement. Might as well get it over with right now. Okay with you, Sandra?
Sure, why not?
Give me a second. I'll be ready.
Make sure the gas is hooked up, Donald. No point in making Sandra uncomfortable.
Oh, I don't really like gas. You see...
We'll just give you a quick shot to relax you.
All right.
Before we start, though, Sandra, I have a question. A curiosity you might be able to help me with.
Yes?
That Mr. Jones you brought in on Friday, the student who couldn't afford to pay?
Yes.
How well do you know him?
Oh, not well at all. We met at a party.
Well, that's very interesting, Sandra. You see, you called him Mr. Jones, but he told me his name was Logan. Jeremy Logan?
He did?
Now, why do you suppose he said that?
I don't know.
He said he was a law student and that he was married.
Well, as I said, I don't really know him. I never met his wife.
That's interesting, too, Mrs. Logan. You see, he said you were his wife.
Well, I'm sorry. You see, Doctor, I thought something was funny around here. I was trying to find out...
To find out what? Jeremy said you thought we were experimenting.
Well, sometimes I have this crazy imagination. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I really can't...
No need to apologize, Mrs. Logan. No need. You see, you were quite right.
I was?
Indeed, we are carrying on experiments, and I think you'll be valuable in assisting us with them.
Ready when you are, Alan.
Now, wait a minute.
You can bring the machine in now, Donald.
What did you... I didn't mean any harm, you know. I was just
no
trying...
harm done, Sandra. We'll carry right along, and now we'll have you to help us up our productivity.
No!
You'll be a big help.
Look, I don't know what you're up to, and I don't want to know, okay?
You'll need a little practice, of course. You see, what we're up to is quite simple, really. This machine here looks quite complicated, and is, so I'm told, but running it is easy. Just a matter of practice.
What is that?
Doesn't have a name, as far as I know. It's made available to me from some colleagues out west. It's one of only 3 in existence, apparently. Anyway, they supply the machine. I provide the service.
I don't want to know about any of this.
You know a lot already.
Nothing about that
Well,
thing.
let me tell you. It operates on some sort of laser principle. It drills a hole up through the roof of the mouth into the brain.
Oh my gosh.
And then this little mechanism here drains off some fluids from various parts of the brain.
Oh my God. What do you...
The result goes into these vials and is sent off to my colleagues. That's where the experimenting comes in. Refined, these fluids create a serum which can extend life and increase intelligence. In return, we get a lot of money and go for regular treatments in Honolulu.
You're crazy.
Oh, not at all. The whole system works quite well. Except for the patients, of course. The process tends to destroy brain cells, leaves them lacking in emotion, and, shall we say, somewhat simpler than what they were.
Someone will find out.
We're always careful to pick people who are loners, where personality changes won't be too readily noticed. And with the aid of a very powerful hypnotic drug, none of them ever recall that they've ever been here.
Jeremy!
He was your mistake. Unfortunate. You'd have been better as a willing assistant.
What do you mean?
This machine is quite versatile. Once you get the hang of it, it can pinpoint a number of parts of the brain. It can make you help us.
Sit down.
No, I'm getting out of here.
Stay where you are.
Give me the gas, Donald.
Don't move. You're not going anywhere.
No, what
All
are you?
right, I've got her.
Put this over your nose and breathe.
Oh my God. I am...
Good. Now, Donald, let's see what we can do about getting our little lady here to be nice and helpful for us. There. Always like to keep up the dental work as well. Least I could do for him. Sandra, suction.
There. You want me to turn on the machine now?
Yes, please. This time, I'd like you to have a try at operating it. Think you can handle it?
I don't know.
But you'll try, won't you?
Yes, I'll try.
Good. Now, you watch me do it a few times. Just do what I did. Right up through the roof of the mouth. You'll get used to the smell.
Right through here?
No. A little more to the right. You'll probably miss the first few times, but that's normal. Ooh, that'll do in most of his motor controls, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry. You're bound to make a few mistakes at first. You just keep poking around and practicing until you get the feel of it. This gas is very effective. Jeremy won't feel a thing.
If I could get our cast out here for just our final round of applause. First of all, David Leach as Larson Swells and Jeremy Logan. Brooke Jonas as Miss Lovecraft. Mia Cologne, Claudia. Aileen Harris as Mildred and Evelyn. Abigail Krem as Sandra Logan and Janice. Brandon Starcher as Donald and Edgar. Chandler Hodges as Peter. Ben Bogan as George Rogers. And last but not least, Chris Bailey as Leroy and Dr. Stewart. I would also love to thank our sound effects table, too. And let's give it up for our directors front row for putting on an amazing show. They have been great so far, too. Also, our technical directors and our music. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. Have a safe trip home.